Hi there. This is Tech Talk Weekly. This is our weekly show where we do 4 stories, get you on your way in about 15, 20 minutes. Today seems a bit off, doesn't it? Yeah, South Florida is really rained under right now, so we're doing a few little tweaks. Going to get a show out anyway for you. And my guest today, because she is amazing at doing this, is Miss Autumn from North Lauderdale, the present, the save the day kind of person. How are you doing today, Autumn?
I'm at home, so it's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah,
and there's no water yet, so
that's very good. You no water. Yeah, I'm crossing my fingers. Yeah, I made it through the minor little flooding on my way home today. Nothing horrible yet, but it's going to get bad very soon.
I sailed down the turnpike, so it was nothing.
If you're in South Florida, all libraries closed at 3:00 until further notice. If you're not in South Florida, I hope you're still dry. I suppose we should actually do this kind of formally. Autumn, tell everybody, what do you do?
Okay, so I give everybody the fancy title, and then I tell them what it actually means. So I am the community library manager of the North Lauderdale Starliner Branch Library. What that actually means is I'm the branch manager. So in layman's terms, I'm the branch manager. And so the North Lauderdale Library is in the northern part of Broward County. We are off of Kimberly Boulevard and Rock Island Road, which is between Atlantic or actually Commercial and Southgate. Yeah. Like right there. So we're a little more central west-ish in the north, and we're a neighborhood library. So we're
you have Creation Station Science there. We just had your scientist in residence on last week.
Mm-hmm. And we're supposed to have our other scientist in residence tomorrow.
We will see if the weather holds.
We will see about that. Now, if we do like we did today, they'll be able to come and do it because they'll be there from 1 until 2. So it's just for an hour starting at 1 p.m. You can check it out on the library's website, broward.org/library. You can click on events, narrow it down to North Lauderdale for tomorrow's date, and you will see the YEA youth event. Tomorrow is Loco for Coco, and you can register. So, and if you do register and we somehow wind up canceling the event, you will get an email to let you know that, hey.
Sorry.
But as of right, so far as we know, we don't know. We don't know anything. So
we're going to see what it's like in the morning, folks.
We know nothing until we are told.
Well, let's get on to some of our stories because some of these we do not know, but we really want you to know. So this story we didn't cover last week, and it seems very appropriate to cover it with all of our storms and everything here. Heat index warnings. This is something that everybody needs to pay attention to all around the country. It is not a Florida thing. This is not a desert thing. This is, you can die. So please take care of yourself.
Yeah, as someone who, I was not born in Florida, and I've lived more of my life in Florida than I have anywhere else. But I grew up in Missouri, and I remember as a kid, it routinely getting well over 100 in the summer. And it was always heat index. Now, of course, in the winter, you have, oh my God, what's the winter one? Wind chill. That tells you how long I've lived in Florida. Like, oh God, which one's the winter one? But, it would be 110 in the shade is how they used to say it. And which meant it was a heck of a lot hotter.
Yeah.
But, not the same humidity, but still, these are very important things to pay attention to. Here in South Florida, if you walk outside, you can tell.
That humidity is going to be up there in the 80s and 90s.
Right in the face. And you walk out and you go, ugh. That's that it's going to be gross, and you need to be careful.
Right. And that's where this, even in our normal summertime when we're in our 90s, up, mid 90 weather, as soon as that outside the humidity hits there, 135 degrees.
Mm.
So,
yeah. So if you live
Great,
outside
be
of
careful.
South Florida, don't come in August. Just don't.
No, don't.
Because
No,
it's
no,
going to be it's going to be one of those really super high numbers, and it's just disgusting.
Yeah, and be careful.
We don't go outside.
Yep. Do not.
Lots of water too.
Always nearby.
Yep.
But the rest of our stories are actually kind of cool. So I know that's not a really great story.
Wow.
I get it. But this story here is so much.
Oh yeah, I saw this one. That's really super. I mean, I should have seen all of them, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's okay. So wild elephants have names, and which is both interesting to know in and of itself, and also how they figured it out by using some AI to go through all of the recordings of all these elephants and figure out which elephant makes this sound and which other elephant reacts to it. And so how they've made this happen. Now, we already know dolphins recognize 24-36 hike. We know they understand. I know, super bad joke. Don't worry.
Are you sure they recognize that?
Oh, yeah. We hope they recognize it. I'm going to play a little video. So tell me what you think, Autumn. I mean, this to me is definitely like, wait, I'm recognizing this sound. I know this. Is that awesome? Did you see that? Doesn't that look like it's recognizing that sound?
Yeah, it's like, what'd you call me?
Right.
What'd you say about my mom?
Actually, it's the sound of this elephant's calf.
Right. So
parents
are going to know that, it's particularly mothers are going to know the sound of their children's voices.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Well, no, they didn't play the calf's voice. They used the calf's name played as an elephant voice, and the mother looks up like, "Hey, wait a minute, who are you talking to?" So
what do you do now?
Exactly, effectively, yeah, just like any kid out there, right?
It makes me think of the stupid video that's going around. I saw it last year, but it's like, "Hey, what's your name?" It's two different guys.
Okay.
Tony, what's your name? Ezekiel. It's okay. We're done.
Okay. Yeah, I do not get that one. I will admit that I'm not.
I'll send it to you later. It'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll have to explain it to me later. So, but this is a nice breakthrough because this is only the third species, humans, dolphins, and now elephants, that we can prove and know that they have names for each other that they're used to call.
Maybe.
Yeah.
The boats that are being attacked by orcas are saying some really horrible stuff about their name.
We haven't figured it out yet.
And that's why they're like, maybe. We don't know.
Yeah. And thank you for that in the chat about putting on the show even during the weather. We do try to make this happen.
I mean, it's easy sitting at home to do it.
Oh, no, it's not actually for some people. But
I'm like, I just clicked on a link, whatever.
Here's something. Okay, speaking of just whatever, and something that's supposed is easy or maybe not so easy. What do you think about using AI on crowds?
So,
yeah.
I suppose it depends. If you're using AI in a facial recognition type situation, yeah, I got a problem with that. If you're just using it to identify bodies, like that's a person, that's something totally different. Using it as a counter versus using it to identify this.
Yeah.
Versus just as a whole and not personal, if you will. Those are two separate things.
Yeah. So what the story is, this is from Rest of World. This is a thing that happened in Brazil earlier this year, where their former president claimed he had 600,000 people at a rally. Slight exaggeration from a president. And the researchers used satellite imagery, so no facial stuff at all. It was all taken from above by satellites.
Okay.
And they proved that there was only 185,000 people there by using AI that was trained on cattle. Because drone footage of how they track their cows in Brazil, and they've developed the algorithm to be able to tell which ones are cows and which ones are bushes, and use that. So they took that algorithm and used it on the crowd at the presidential.
I mean, it's that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
As long as there's no identifying.
Yeah.
Like, that's Jose, and that's I don't know a lot of Brazilians. I apologize.
And it's okay.
But this is there's Bob.
Yeah.
As long as that's, because I know there are. I see it talking about based on, and it just got nothing to do with anything. It just says based on a Chinese counting framework. But I know in China they do use AI and CCTV cameras for facial recognition. And we've got some stuff here that uses, it's not necessarily AI, but they do facial recognition.
And that's why I wanted to mention this story, is because a lot of this is you're applying AI to data that you've already collected from a different source. It's not like AI is out there watching you. It's, we've taken this film of you. We've watched you walk through an airport. We've watched you walk down the street. And now we're going to go take AI and pick that face out of the crowd every single time you're on the camera.
Yeah,
which is where I think we are both like, yeah, no, we don't want this to happen.
But if it's like, hey, from top down, that's a person, not a bush. Okay, cool. That's fine. If it can tell what we are, as opposed to a bush,
who we are and what we're doing and everything, it's a much better and getting more opportunity to do accurate counting like that, so that nobody can say, oh, my crowds were the biggest ever, because you just want to say that. And here's the actual data and statistics to back you up.
There are those, and I'm sure this might have been another situation where they were like, that's not true. There were this many people. I don't know, but I'm going to take a wild guess and say,
And so all these crowd estimates and everything, they have figured out since launching this in 2022. So it took them less than 2 years to bring the margin of error down from 30% down to 12%.
Wow.
And it's getting even closer now. And this was in February. And obviously we've all seen how AI accelerates all this growth so fast. So this is one of those things that's going to be used more and more and more. And we have elections going on right now in the United States. They just finished in Mexico. They just finished in India. So we are going to see what happens, how this applies in our own country soon.
Yay. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
It's going to be good. 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 It's okay. And speaking of what?
No, I'm just surprised it actually made it up. That's all.
Oh, okay. So Boeing Starliner. We talked about it last week at the top of the show because there was lots of cool space news, and Starliner launching up to the space station was one of them, because it's the first time that somebody has made it up to there. I'm sorry, second time, a civilian one, only the third capsule to take humans up into space. But as Autumn just alluded to, they had some problems upon launch. Why it was delayed was because there was a helium leak on the capsule. So they delayed it a week. They decided, okay, no, we can just launch this and do it anyway. and it was not a problem.
Good news, everybody's still alive.
Everybody's still there. Everything's great.
For now.
Yeah. The problem is, if you may have noticed when we flashed it up last week, that the show was on the show. The problem was it got there, and then it was supposed to be coming right home, and instead it ended up staying for an extra week, and it's still up there right now. It's going to come back maybe early next week, probably like Tuesday or Wednesday. And part of that problem is because instead of one leak, there's now 5 leaks, which sounds really bad, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, considering you got to come back in a burning hot atmosphere. Well, helium, it's not like it's hydrogen. It's not like it's a hydrogen.
Correct.
That's a big problem. But does helium burn?
Yes, but so what happens is they shoot helium out of the thrusters to maneuver and navigate in low Earth orbit. So out of 28 individual thrusters that are around the capsule, they know one of them seems to be dead, but all the rest of them are working. And I know you're like, Bob, wait. If it's leaking and there's not going to be any helium, how are they going to actually use it? Here's the trick. They need approximately 10 pounds of helium in the thrusters to be able to successfully make it back to Earth. Even with the leaks, they have 100 pounds because NASA is obsessed with redundancy.
No, they're not playing around.
Exactly. They've got 28 thrusters. They only need 6 of them to actually work. They prefer to have at least a dozen working. And again, they have 10 times as much helium as they need just in case. So it's going to work out. They're going to come home. And that's actually the point of the story to me is NASA has so much obsessive, compulsive planning on every single possible contingency that even with going from 0 leaks, preferably to as many as 5, and losing some thrusters, they're still going to be okay and get home just fine.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, obviously, from the budding space program in the early 60s.
Yep.
You have, and even before that, the test pilot programs for World War II and coming into Vietnam, which led to the space program. There's been a lot of trial and error. Sometimes the errors were humongous. Yeah. And some people paid a really big price for the knowledge that we have now. So if I was one of those astronauts, sure, I'd be a little like, but I got to get home somehow.
Gotta get home. Exactly. No, that's your vehicle home. You got
that's my ride home. So, all right, guess we're
to make sure. Yeah, they're making sure that everything's going to work, and they're coming home. So hopefully, on next week's show, we'll be talking about that and how cool it is that they made it.
They're up there for another week.
Yeah. No, they won't. We don't think. So, speaking of something that's really cool and also really geeky, when you go to Las Vegas, would you go to see the Excel World Championships?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, I'm totally sure.
You didn't get a chance to look at this one because this.
I didn't.
They
changed it.
This is an awesome article, and unfortunately, they changed the formatting a little bit when the article first came out. This was in an Excel sheet itself. The formatting on the page was a pure Excel sheet. It was awesome. They tweaked the formatting for some reason. Who knows why? But I do want you to. We're running out of time for the show, so we can't really spend too much time on this article. Really, it's all about how interesting and tight and competitive that Excel can be. And I know you're like, that's you're just nuts. Why in the world would I want? Trust me on this one. You got to go read this article. It is a lot of fun.
I mean, I'm not a gambler, so I wouldn't be going to Vegas anyway.
Yeah.
But I really wouldn't be going. Like, look, it's bad enough I have to deal with Excel at work. If I'm on vacation.
And go watch people do Excel spreadsheets. No?
It's not happening.
What
I mean, good for them. I'm happy they have found something they are very good at and that they have a means to compete. Congratulations to them, but there is no way.
What if I told you this is the second one? Not like the second annual. They've been doing this for a long time. Actually, weirdly enough. Pre-pandemic, they were doing this. This is the second one. There's one for people who are in school who Microsoft sponsors a scholastic one of these that's also in Las Vegas earlier than this one. That's what's insane about this. And again, like you said, if there is something that you're really interested in, I bet you there's a niche out there for you to get together with other people and have fun and compete and
follow your dreams.
I'm just crazy.
Don't know where they will lead.
Yeah, follow your dreams. But everybody uses Excel. You're stuck with it for the most part, of some kind of spreadsheet. And this whole thing of how many seconds it takes you to fill out the formulas to create out of a blank data, it's just an insane thing. Okay, I got to shut up. I know I'm a geek about this. Don't worry. Thank you so much, Miss Autumn, for being here.
You're welcome.
If you are not in the United States, which we have a growing population of people listening to this show, please send us an email. Subscribe to the show, but please send us an email at creationstation@broward.org and let us know where you're from and make sure that we're covering stories from your area too. Hopefully everybody dries out, and we'll see you next week.
Have
Bye.
fun.